Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching us how you can pad three types of blouse with your wedding. So the first one is your shoulder princess blouse, also your armhole princess that, and also an off shoulder bodice. So let's get started. Now I'll be showing us the patterns one after the other. So this is an off shoulder pattern here, the center, front and the side. Okay, and usually for your padding is done on the front of the blouse. This is your shoulder princess dart. Okay, so this is it here. Yeah, and then the third one is going to be your armhole princess dart. So as you're watching this video, do not forget to subscribe, like and share. Now I'll be starting with the off shoulder bustier. Okay, so this is the off shoulder pattern. First, you want to locate the underbust of your pattern. Okay, and I don't want to destroy my pattern, so I'll be transferring. So now I'm marking my underbust. Okay, that's it there. Then for your padding, your wording shouldn't get to the neckline, so you can leave about half an inch or 1 inch before the neckline. So I'll use my French curve now to create a curve. Okay, and then you leave half inch away from the center front. So I'll just create a curve like this towards the on the breast line. Then, like I said, you should leave about 1.5 inch away from the neckline. So I'll just do 1 inch like so. Then I'll also use my French curve to link it. So you can use pencil to do this. I'm using marker because of clarity and because it's a tutorial, right? So this is the shape of my cup. You can just blend it up. It doesn't have to have a particular shape actually. Okay, so you don't need to beat yourself to like try to get a very curvy cup. So now I'll measure what is here and then I'll place it on this side. Actually, this is not necessary. The most important thing is don't let the boarding get to the armhole, and it shouldn't be too close to the side seam either. Okay, so that's what's important. That's the reason for that measurement. It's just a guide, right? So it should also stop 1 inch before the neckline. So I'll just blend up. Now you don't have to use a curve, you can actually use your hands, but the curve is better. So I'm just blending up. Sorry, my hand keeps shifting. I'm so sorry about that. So I'll just blend up like so. Now I'm going to label. Okay. Now to preserve your pattern, you could actually transfer this to another pattern paper. So I'll place this on another pattern paper. I'll pin it down. I don't always like to destroy my patterns for future reference, so I'll trace out the cup like this. Okay, I'll trace it out, and I'm also going to trace out the inseam like this. Okay, so I'll now take off my pattern and trace out, then label, show direction. This is center front, and this is the part I'll be adding my seam allowance to. So I'll cut it out for us to see. Yeah, so this is what it looks like here. Now I'll cut out the second one, the same thing. I'll place it on my pattern paper. I'll trace out and I'll label. That labeling is very important so that you don't misplace the position of the cups. Okay, or yeah, so that you don't like turn them upside down. Also, I'll just trace this out like so. Okay, I'm going to label. This is upward direction, this is my side, and this is where I'm adding my seam allowance on the wording. Okay, so now I've cut this out, right? So next thing, I'll cut this on my wording, but I'll be adding seam allowance to just the inner parts. Okay, so be careful with the positioning. That's how you should label. Okay, so I'll add having seam allowance to both cups on the inseam. Okay, so let's quickly go to the armhole princess dart. It's almost the same process. Okay, so same thing for this. You are going to locate the underbust position first. You place this on the side pattern and locate the second position on the side. Okay, so the reason for this is so that your wording is placed rightly. Now I'll use my curve again to create the curve for my wording, and then you should use your chest line as a guide. The wording shouldn't, be below the chest line. It can go above a bit. Okay, so from my underbust, my chest line is around 8 inches. Okay, so I can still take my wording upward a bit from my chest line. Okay, it's just a guideline, please. So I'll mark somewhere here. Okay, now I need to be sure I'm marking the same point on the other side of my pattern. So before I work on the second pattern, I'll use my French curve to create the curve for my pad. Okay, so I'm just going to link this to the point I marked, like so. There is no particular shape for the padding. Okay, so for the second one, I'll just place it like this. I want to try and get the position on the other side of the side. So there, I've marked it. So I'll just highlight it, and then I'll use my French curve to draw the shape of the part I want. Just make sure it's not too close to the armhole and not too far either. So if you draw the first one like this, if you feel it's too small, you could actually increase it, but just make sure it's not too close to the armhole. So I can do this, and then reposition my curve like this, and then yeah, so I think I'm fine with this. So side seam allowance, direction of my cup, this is side. Okay, same thing for this. This is center front. Well, add my seam allowance and direction. So I'll use my tracing results. So I have done that. Okay, these are the cups. This is pattern paper. Okay, I have not transferred this to my wording yet. So let me show us how to cut the third one. So this is shoulder princess dart. Okay, it's similar to the princess dart too. So first step, you're going to mark the underbust, place the second pattern like so, to locate the underbust like that. Then determine where you want the part to get to. Like I said, use your chest line as a guide. So I'm using my French curve here to draw my cup. Okay, so this is it. For some people, they use very small cups. If this is too small, you can still increase it. Okay, so I can still take my curve backward a bit to increase the size of the pad, right? So the thicker your wording, the better. So this is side, direction, and where I'll put my seam allowance. Okay, and then I also want to locate where I'm going to stop the wording on the side. So I'll just bend my paper a little and just mark that point. That's all. It's just so that the wording is equal on both sides. So I'll press my curve this way. If you notice, for the center front, the wording doesn't get to the center front at all. You leave about ½ inch away. So yeah, this is my center front, and well, at my seam allowance. So I will just trace out like I've done for the first two. Okay, so here it is. This is my shoulder princess. Okay, so I'll be showing us how to pad the off shoulder and the shoulder princess. Okay, so for the off shoulder, this is it here. I've already cut out my pattern on my fabric. I added seam allowance, okay, to the fabric and the wording. So this is my wording here, and I added ½ inch seam allowance for the inseam. Same thing with the second one too. So be very careful with the placement, okay, so that you don't make a mistake like I'm doing already. Yeah, I'm already misplacing the pattern, so you have to label, right? So I think this is supposed to be here. Yeah, good, I'm correct. So I'll place this here, and then I'll pin it. Now I'll be just showing us how to sew just one side of the blouse. Okay, I don't need to show us both because it's the same process. Now this is my side, so I'll just pin it like the first one. Okay, now my pad is very close to the neckline. I forgot. You're gonna bring it down like so, and then you pin it. So after pinning, I'll take this to my sewing machine now. I'll show us how to do that. I'll go and sew it with ½ inch seam allowance. So this is it here. You're going to place it together and then sew. Now for the wadding, you may or may not fuse it. That's the beauty of using a wadding. It has fusible substance that can glue to the fabric, but even if there's no light, you can still use it. Okay, so you just sew it 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then you sew gently along the curve, and make sure you use your pins. It's very, very important. So at this stage, I hope you have subscribed to this channel. Do not forget to like and leave your comments, right? So let me know if you learned from this tutorial. Let me know in the comment section. It's more like a feedback. Okay, so back to our tutorial. You just keep sewing all the way down with your 1/2 inch seam allowance, and here now you should notch this. You have to notch it so by the time you want to press, it will fold well. So this is it here, as simple as ABC. Meanwhile, this particular wadding is not thick, it's just medium thickness. Okay, so this is the off shoulder bustier. Now let's go to the shoulder princess. That it's the same process. Just arrange your wadding on the fabric like so. You go ahead and sew it 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then we have this. You see that? So you must notch, please. It's very important. So now I'll go ahead and place it on my dress form for us to have a better view. Yeah, this is it. So this is the shoulder princess dart, and I will also be showing us the off shoulder bustier. Yeah, so this is it. It's a very, very easy DIY. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.